Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
The birth of Jesus has blessed us all. Let's not forget his birthday this Christmas. Good morning, everybody, and Merry Christmas. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning on a Tuesday. And a good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, and 1 week away from Christmas. Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best of tires for wintertime driving. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and listen to a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir.
You the man.
Yes, I thought I'd do it this morning.
All right.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wheels, thank you very much, buddy, and we appreciate it. Right now, let's take a look at the weather for today as you're going out finishing up your Christmas shopping. I got to tell you a little story about that in a minute. Right now, K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn, right there smack dab on the Burley-Paul Highway. You can't miss them, and you shouldn't, because they get there early in the morning at 7 a.m. Roger and the whole crew with the best of tools and equipment to finish any kind of a project. That's right. All the heaters, the sewer snakes, they've got it all, man. I'm telling you, they're waiting to serve you at K&R Rental. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
We are officially 1 week away until Christmas, and here's a look at your weather forecast and what Mother Nature has in store for us today. Looks like a slight chance of rain or snow showers, about a 20% chance, mostly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south at about 8 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 41 tonight. 30% chance of rain or snow showers, mostly before midnight, low right around 34. And winds could gust as high as 28 miles an hour. Tomorrow we're going to see some sunshine and a high of 42. Still going to be a little bit breezy out there by Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low of 27. Thursday, mostly sunny and 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the
Not bad, not too shabby. Thank you very much, Gina. Brought to you, everybody, by K&R Rental. I mean, log splitters, excavators, tilling machines for the gardens this next spring. I mean, they've got everything. They've thought of everything for you. The heaters, everything at K&R Rental. And they're right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. 678-3122. And they wish you a very Merry Christmas. Don't forget, Thursday is sale day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy. The sale that works for you. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, absolutely the number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Thursday this week, sale day at 10 a.m. at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Don't you miss it. Also, your last-minute clean of things. Oh, your favorite shirt, you've got cranberry and gravy stains on it. Or I don't know what you spilled at Thanksgiving, but you should have taken care of it. Well, run in and see Daryl's Cleaners serving you. Absolutely, at 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. And by the way, too, if you've got a problem with time, you're doing this, that, and the everything for Christmas, they can even do your wash. That's right, wash, dry, fold, and iron all your clothes at Daryl's Cleaners, just like Mom used to do. You stop in and see them today. Daryl's Cleaners, the best, at 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. Calls are welcome and appreciated at 436-2244. I want to remind everybody, today is Adam Fowler's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. My gosh, this can't be. He's 15 right now? Holy moly. 15 years of age, Adam Fowler. Absolutely a very nice and sharp young man, so we wish him the best. Ramsey Heating and Electric, let's not forget them, of course, and they're located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric, they've been in business over 6 decades. They're older than I am, almost. No, they're not. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you the age again, it depresses me. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs, right there at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number 678-0459. They open the doors at 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. And I can tell you this, they wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Last week, as I said, we were over at Denny's for the old-fashioned Christmas party. And I cannot stress enough thank yous. I mean, just blew my mind as to how nice and thinking and caring my audience is, and all the nice things they did for my wife and I. We really appreciate it, including Thomas and the staff at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. Literally for all your breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, anytime, all the time. Great restaurant, great menu choices, let me tell you, at Denny's Restaurant. They're located at 611 North Overland and Burley, and also at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Denny's Restaurant, it's true, America's Diner. This story needs to be mentioned because I still think there's a lot of good people that believe in a value system and believe in right and wrong, black and white, and what is supposed to happen and not supposed to happen. I believe there's a lot of people out there that look at the Bible and look at the prophecies and the statements in the Bible as fact, like I do. And I believe there's a lot of people that are absolutely sickened by how the left has taken apart, inverted, twisted our value system in this country, and even right here in the state of Idaho. When I read this story, and maybe a lot of you won't want to comment, but I do want to comment on it because I think it needs to be said. When I read this about a federal judge that has caused Idaho problems in the past with some of his idiotic left rulings, and that's U.S. District Court Judge B. Lynn Winmill, when I read his ruling that says Idaho must provide gender confirmation surgery to a transgender inmate, I was absolutely appalled. This is a criminal. Let's start things from the basics. That had broken the law many, many times in prison. And I don't care whether they're a transgender or not. There are certain things that we, the taxpaying public, should never be asked to provide and give to someone that has broken the law. Your standard health procedures, whether they come down with the flu or anything else, yes, absolutely. Any life-threatening disease or something that happens, pneumonia, would absolutely take care of them in prison. But the frivolosity, I love that word. I don't even know if it is one. The frivolosity, I like that though, of saying that because someone's in prison and is transgender, and we, the people, the taxpayers of Idaho, have to pay for a sex change operation, I draw the line. I absolutely draw the line. I want to hear what you have to say about this. I mean, it's something that comes down and is coming down, and I believe is going to transpire in the next 5 to 6 months. And we are paying for this. If this person had not committed any crimes and was out on the street as a free person, we wouldn't be paying a dime. But now, and I'm going to use this word, under the luxury of being in prison and knowing that this ruling came down from the judge, we are paying for this idiocy. What are your thoughts? Give me a call. Please don't weaken on stories like this. I really appreciate your comments. 436-2244, 1-866-927 for... what did I say? 927-4587. My brain had a little bubble in it there this morning. Give me a call on this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Here's what was said by Judge Winmill. I read this story. For more than 40 years, the Supreme Court has consistently held that consciously ignoring a prisoner's serious medical needs amounts to cruel and unusual punishment. But is this at all a serious medical need? This person needs a psychiatrist, not a surgery. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget Christmas wishes from Representative Fred Wood. Good man, representing District 27, and we want to be sure and say right back at you. Representative Fred Wood and his family want to wish all their constituents a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you, Representative Fred Wood. And the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce at 1177 7th Street in Heyburn. Oh, my goodness, headed up by Sarah Seymour. She is a human dynamo and absolutely one of the nicest, friendliest people I've ever met, along with their staff over at the Minnetonka Chamber of Commerce, wishing you a Merry Christmas. Mountain Transmissions, 1146 East Main in Burley. Rick and the crew, I'm telling you, free towing, free diagnostic, and free estimates. They want to keep you going and rolling, you better believe it. The place to go if you're having problems, Mountain Transmissions, wishing you a Merry Christmas. And last but not least, our dear friend Senator Kelly Anthon at District 27. Boy, he works hard for his constituents, and he and his family want to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
My friend.
Yeah, I'd prescribe a different type of surgery for this guy.
Be careful, Rodney. I'm going to interrupt you and not have you say anything that might be slanted a little bit off color or whatever, but I understand where you're headed. Go ahead and finish. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just saying, I'd prescribe a lobotomy for this guy because he has something wrong with his brain that needs fixed.
Well, you know, there's no question about the mental incapabilities of this person, but also I point my finger at the judge for basically saying, yeah, you, the Idaho public, reach into your billfolds and pay for this nonsense. This man's a criminal. This man's been arrested. He is a felon, and yet we pay for his wants and desires? I don't think so.
I think not, man. I mean, I can see I can see providing a life-saving surgery if the guy had a terrible disease.
Yes.
But
yes.
This is, it's just like, I think it's the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. They shall call good evil and evil good.
That's a good way to wrap up the conversation because I totally agree with you. And it just boggles my mind why taxpayers that believe in good and evil and believe in black and white and they believe in what the Bible says, and then they are forced now as taxpayers of this state to back something as ridiculously heinous as this.
Oh, they're trying to force us to. They're trying to force us to believe that that certain things are normal when they're not even natural.
Absolutely. Rodney,
I'll catch you later.
no, wait, I want to say something to you and your mom. Is your mom right there?
Well, I don't know if she has the radio on.
All right. Well, I want to tell you how much I appreciate the gift that you gave Deanna and I, especially myself, and how much it meant. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
And I hope you enjoy.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You have a Merry Christmas.
All right, sir. And the same right back at you. Calls are welcome. Don't weaken on me, folks. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Our friends over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, Nick Greenwell and all of his staff, extend to you and yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And they also want you to know that if you've got an ache, a pain, you're recovering from a surgery or an accident, please, they know all the exercises. They've got the best of staff. They've got the hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind around. And all you need to do is call them at 678-1191. 678-1191, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Yes, sir, Bobby. They can help you get back to being you. Want to also remind, quickly, give me a call. Come on, folks. I just can't imagine why a judge can make that kind of a ruling, but Winmill has gone the other side of the spectrum many, many times. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Zeb. I think we ought to go through with the surgery, but I think it ought to be on the judge. I think we need to take him and castrate him or something.
Well, I don't want to get into that aspect of it, but, you know, this whole thing is just so absolutely out of bounds that would have never been thought about and or legislated about with a judge 10, 15, 20 years ago. This is insane to me to force taxpayers to do and pay for this kind of a surgery.
Yeah, there'd probably be a bunch of us that had volunteered to take care of that one for free.
I think you're right, and probably do a better job as far as some of the cattlemen in this area. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You know, this judge has caused us a lot of problems over the years.
Yes, he has.
Some way we need to get rid of him.
Well, he has been a very left-leaning judge, very environmentally friendly against the users of the land judge, and I'm not going to be sending him a Christmas card, I'll tell you that.
Me either.
All right, sir. God bless you, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on this, because I just think that this is frivolous, waste of our money that we pay in taxes. And I'm against it. I'm totally against it. And one thing that was said, and this really riled me, by a lady by the name of Amy Whalen, an attorney with the National Center for Lesbian Rights, said, oh, well, let's see, they can't deny medically necessary care to transgender prisoners. They can't deny medically necessary care to transgender prisoners. Is this life-threatening? Not at all. Not at all. And we're forced to pay this? And then she said they need to start evaluating people appropriately and providing care to them. Oh, boy. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please give me a call. There's a lot to worry about in the old world. We're going to talk about more stories in a minute, so give me a call, 436-2244. Arc Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. The number to call, 678-1177. Now, they really want to remind you, and I keep stressing this, in the colder weather, your animals are going to need more water. Absolutely. Water they can drink, not frozen with ice on top and everything. No, no, no. Make sure you've got heated buckets, heated tubs. Make sure they've got more than an adequate water supply available to them to keep them healthy in the wintertime. Don't forget, if there's any problems, call Arc Animal Hospital at 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Arc Animal Hospital. Really great folks. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, we're going to be talking to Frosty Woldridge at 9:06, and I honestly, after some of the conversations and some of the statements to the news media, excuse me, by the Democrats, and some of the way that the anti-wall sentiment is being portrayed by the liberal left. Oh, no, we've got to let them in. These are poor people that are just looking for a better life. No. Most of them are people that want to come up on our dime, and yes, there are some, deservedly, that would like to come to this country, but there are many, many, many of them that are criminals, thugs, drug runners, and felons that I don't want here at all. And we've got to draw a line in the sand here pretty quick as to the one come all attitude that's going on in this country, because we, the American public, if you'll really sit down and study the numbers and the cost factors, honest cost factors, with already 22 million or more illegal aliens living in this country, yeah, we're paying for. We've got to draw a line in the sand and say enough is already past enough. The more people that come in, the more their problems they supposedly are escaping and running from will be recreated here in this country. And then sooner or later, and quite frankly, I think it's going to be sooner, we go down to the dregs that they left. Do you really want that? Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Caller, I'll be right there. I want to remind everybody about our great friends with the Urgent Cares. Riverside Urgent Care of Burley at 382 North Overland. Urgent Care of Twin Falls at 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin. Urgent Care of Jerome, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. These are wonderful people providing the highest level of quality care to you and your family while keeping costs to a minimum, and your health is their number one priority. And all three locations wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas from the Urgent Cares. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. The senior center menu for today on South Overland is pork noodles and egg roll, green salad, vegetable, and homemade cookies.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Joe. You didn't say that right. Homemade, yummy cookies.
They will be.
All right. And if they want to have a takeout meal, what do they do?
Just call 208-678. I guess we better do 208-878-5. I didn't even forgot the number.
Is it 5646?
208-878-8646.
There you go. I was wrong, too. Joe, God bless you, and Merry, Merry Christmas, and thank you for all you do.
Merry Christmas to you and Diane.
All right. Thank you, my dear friend. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Another story that's in the news, and if you have not been following this, it's one of those that you just want to grab the arms of your chair and just make a tight fist, white knuckles, and possibly break the arm off on the chair. This war hero that came back from Afghanistan and admitted in the heat of passion and war that he had shot a known bomb maker for the Taliban, and probably by doing so saved many, many American and Afghan lives. Now, caller, I'll be right there. 8 years after this supposedly happened, the military, the part of the military that never sees any action and they sit on their big fat fannies and they don't do anything except criticize, they're after him possibly for charges of murder. And I want to say this quickly, and others have stated it this morning before me on National Network Fox. Bo Bergdahl was a traitor to this country, and he's now free. One of the most insidious people, Bradley Manning, sold secrets and gave secrets away on our government, and he is free. And here was a real soldier, an honorable soldier, that had won numerous awards as being one of our war heroes. And because he eliminated an enemy that was trying to kill us, he's up on murder charges. This is insane. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, sir. This is what we get when we let the politicians make rules of engagement that tie both hands of our soldiers behind their back.
You know, Doug, I was not able to go into the military because I'm 4F. I have so many buddies, many of which did not return, that have served this country and served this country so well. And they were put into a situation like in all wars of winning the war and eliminating the enemy. You know this is true. We put these people in an environment to protect the country, the circumstances, and fight for us. And now we're going to turn around and tell them if they pull the trigger, they might be up on murder charges. Don't go there, anybody, not with me.
No, not with me either. This man done what needed to be done. His ultimate judge is going to be the Almighty God. And where he has saved not only U.S. soldiers' lives, he saved villagers' lives that fed him the information to where this guy is and who this guy is.
That's right.
And he also lost two of his buddies just a couple days, I guess a day or so before he eliminated this bomb maker.
There is no way that anyone can look at this man, Goldstein is his name, and they can criticize him for not being anything but the epitome of a good, great soldier. He took care of his men. He fought and put himself into a position to where his life could have been taken very easily. And he was protecting others. And even, I got to say this, I got another call waiting, standby caller. Even, and this almost is a shock to me, Geraldo Rivera, of all the liberals on television, absolutely, poignantly agreed that this man should be absolutely exonerated.
Exactly. There shouldn't even be thinking of bringing up charges. The government has gone into wars since Vietnam, and well, they tried to win one in Korea, but since Vietnam, and they don't go in to win a war.
That's right.
It's basically a political skirmish where a few people are getting rich because they have all these contracts that they pay these lobbyists to pay the senators to get the contract.
Well, let's just shorten this a little bit, and I'm just going to ask you one simple question. Was the Taliban bomb maker an enemy?
Yes.
Was the Taliban bomb maker guilty, underline that word, of killing others prior to this?
If he made bombs that went off and killed people, yes.
Was the soldier doing his duty as a soldier of the United States to get rid of the enemy?
Yes.
Well, then how in the world can you put him up on murder charges?
Well, that's a million-dollar question, and if you can figure it out in a liberal's mind how they think like that, we could solve a lot of problems in this world.
That is the problem right now with our whole country, and for that matter, the whole world. The liberal, absolutely trash thinking that is permeating itself in our society, and somehow it's got to be stopped.
Well, that's how you bring a country down, is you make what's right's wrong and wrong right. You stop their speech by being politically correct. You say you've got hurt feelings when somebody says something that is factual, but you take offense to it. Well, put on your big boy panties and grow up.
Yeah, and I had a really good friend of mine call me yesterday. I got to say this quickly, and he said, Zeb, they're going to probably come after you due to the fact that you're listened to now nationwide. And I said, bring it on. I'm not trying to act tough. I'm just going to say that I'm not going to weaken on this, Doug. I'm certainly not going to back up for these people. I'm not going to carry water to their horse. I'm going to say just bring it on, because I'm fed up with people that are cowards and have kowtowed to the left and what they want. If I go down and I have to pull the plug on this program, so be it. But it's not going to be because of the fact that I put my tail between my legs.
Exactly. There's only one person's judgment that I'm fearing, and that's the Almighty.
You got it. Give us a quick...
I don't care about.
Absolutely. Give us a quick senior center. I've got another call waiting, please.
All right, everybody, let's do what we can for the senior centers. Let's if we can, let's get a monthly donation going to them. If you write them a check every month when you pay your bills, or have it automatically taken out of a checking account. But let's help them what we can, and remember the reason for the season.
Hey, bud. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Doug. God bless you, man. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. I want to remind everybody about Dino Septic Service. Absolutely. They are the best at what they do, and they've recently, like I've been telling you, expanded their business so they can better serve a lot more people with, of course, septic inspections, septic tanks, pumps, septic tanks and drain fields installed, water and sewer lines installed, liquid waste removal. Ooh, they do it all with a great big smile on their face. Fast, fair, friendly service. And the numbers to call, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Dino Septic Service, with that big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, you have been very patient. God bless you, and you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
From what I understood about this situation that you're talking about, they can't even find the body of the guy this Green Beret was supposed to have killed. The soldier was supposed to have killed. They can't even find any evidence of it ever happening. It was his word that he did it. Not saying he didn't. I'm just saying in the normal civilian court of law, don't you have to have a body or some kind of evidence other than just the word of somebody that killed someone?
One would think so, Riley, but here's the thing. He, a couple of years ago, admitted this whole... It wasn't an admission. He said he had done this in protection of his...
And I get that.
Pardon me?
And I'm proud of him. I said, I understand that, and I'm proud of him for it. I think we had to give him a hero's welcome or something more than trying to throw him in prison. But the thing is they from what, like I said, from what I had read about it, they were having a hard time prosecuting him because they didn't have any evidence anyway.
Yeah.
They need someone to throw the bullseye on to make a bad person out of a good man. And he's a good man. He done exactly what I would have done or anybody else would have done that has a conscience.
And that's absolutely the truth. War is hell, and there are casualties. And this man did what at the time had to be done, he thought, to protect other people. I stand with him. Riley, I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, my dear friend. One thing I want to say before I take this next call is that this soldier's wife, you don't want to mess with her. You don't want to mess with her. She's a very petite brunette, and she is a fireball, and I admire her. I think she's a lot like my wife, Deanne. Very quiet, very subdued, until she gets a little bit mad. I saw her, and I have seen her on a couple of occasions, absolutely look at the TV cameras and tell them exactly where the goat ate the cabbage, or words to that effect. And I think it's don't mess with mama time. This lady's protecting her husband because of what he did for this country and who he was for this country. I don't think they'd better mess with her. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
The caller hung up, sir.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't go quick enough. Call back, please. I'd appreciate it. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for that call back, and evidently somebody was in a hurry, I want to remind everybody about Barry Equipment and Rental. And, of course, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan. Nice guy. Really a good guy. Sharp guy. Knows all the equipment. 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli, and the Nampa location. You know, if you don't know what you need and you don't know how to run it, not a problem. They can help you. They'll figure out exactly what your needs are, and they've got a big sandbox out behind the business. They'll teach you how to run it. Hey, problem solved. Don't forget, for the best of equipment rentals and retail equipment sales, the best working for you and with you, Barry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. Really sharp people. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. What are your thoughts? I mean, to put this family, and they've got a very young son, but to put this family through hell, like is going on. And I think, in fairness, it was Geraldo Rivera last night. And like I said, I have never, at least not on very, very minimal occasions, taken the side of Geraldo Rivera because I don't personally like the guy or respect his opinion. But, boy, I did last night when he was there in Afghanistan when this happened. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing his concept of words, this was not anything out of the ordinary, and this man was protecting his environment and those in his environment. And now to think, like I said earlier, the people that never have seen combat are sitting on their duffs and criticizing. They are the ones that are going after him on proposed murder charges? For whose benefit and why? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, situations like this only put doubt and speculation and hesitance in tens of thousands of military people or law enforcement people.
Yes.
And puts their lives at stake.
You know, Earl, you bring up a point that needs to be talked about and really refined and defined. You are putting these people, whether they're policemen, whether they're military, whatever the case might be, you're putting them where a split millionth of a second might create a seed of doubt in their mind as to whether to pull the trigger or not, and that might result in their death. So many times I've heard police officers say, we saw him going for what we thought was a weapon and we fired. And who are we? Who are we to criticize these people that are putting their lives on the line and they think something's happening to where they're going to be shot at, they shoot, and the perpetrator is put down. And then, on hindsight, these imbeciles that sit up on high chairs sit there and go, oh, you're guilty of murder.
We should knowingly not criticize. Yeah.
I agree. But I'm going to sit here, Earl, and I'm going to criticize the mechanics of the story and how it came about, because this was a war hero that has served us, the United States, so eloquently, if you will. And I'm not about to sit back and let this story go, because I personally don't think he did one damn thing wrong.
And we've got a history in all of our families of this. And this should not even be going on, Zeb.
I agree. Earl, up on the mountain, take care, my dear friend. Merry Christmas.
I'm buttoning down the hatches and getting ready for what they throw at me.
Okay. Well, just don't look up. It might hit you in the nose. Be careful, Earl. All right.
It generally does.
All right. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Time for the weather forecast, and the weather brought to you by our friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Absolutely 3 3 great doctors serving you, doctors of audiology, and they know hearing health, and they can help you. Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Hunsaker, all of them right over there at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room, and they are dedicated to your hearing health. We'll tell you more right after Gina's weather.
We are officially 1 week away until Christmas, and here's a look at your weather forecast and what Mother Nature has in store for us today. Looks like a slight chance of rain or snow showers, about a 20% chance, mostly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south at about 8 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 41 tonight. 30% chance of rain or snow showers, mostly before midnight. Low right around 34. And winds could gust as high as 28 miles an hour. Tomorrow we're going to see some sunshine and a high of 42. Still going to be a little bit breezy out there by Wednesday night. Partly cloudy and a low of 27. Thursday, mostly sunny and 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zebeth.
Oh, Gina, thank you. Doesn't she do a nice job on that weather? I'll tell you what, I'm so glad and fortunate to have her on the program. Don't forget Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. They promise to provide comprehensive treatment for hearing loss, and believe me, they will present all the options to you. Please don't let it go. Don't let it get worse. Check with them today. Make an appointment at 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, bringing you the weather right now. Absolutely. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, the hypocrisy, and it is, of the left and the Democrats, you got to shake your head. I'm fortunate that every day I can do some follow-up on, what did they say back when? Or, yes, they did do this in this particular circumstance. What I'm talking about is the absolute hypocrisy of politicians in general, but primarily, in this case, the Democratic left. You know, to sit there and look at the TV cameras and damn and condemn Trump for wanting a wall, to stop the absolute flow and flood of illegal aliens coming into our country, is almost laughable. It's almost laughable with the Chucky Schumers and the Nancy Pelosi's, even up to and not going past Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. I remember a conversation I had a couple of weeks ago with a person that said, well, I heard you on the radio say that Hillary and Barack Obama, they were in favor of the wall. No, they weren't. Yeah, they were. And the proof is in the pudding. And the pudding is a video of both of them standing up behind a podium 12 years ago in 2006. And both of them were talking about and saying they were going to vote for bigger, better barriers on our southern border to cut back on illegal alien flow into this country. You don't believe me? Go look it up. I don't mind being criticized. Not at all. But I'll tell you what I do mind and I get really mad about is when somebody basically says I'm a liar for the presentation of facts that I put forth on this program. I have personally seen and listened to the speeches of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, at that time a senator, demanding that there be better security and a better barrier on our southern border. I am urging, and I really mean this, I'm urging Donald Trump not to weaken on this situation. Don't blink, Donald. Stay firm and shut the government down, get their attention, and start building that wall. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Do you remember that they called Mitt Romney a flip-flopper because he got educated on some subjects, and so he changed his mind? Instead of just going what he thought, he educated himself. They called him a flip-flopper, but good gravy, these guys just didn't flip-flop. They completely cartwheeled.
You know, they see that they've lost this election. They lost the 2016, and they basically didn't do anything that's going to really change the circumstances because the Senate's still Republican controlled. They are very poor losers. They are very sore losers. And I guess in general, they are losers. But yet they don't want to say that they've lost, and they're going to do everything they can to create a situation of total chaos in this United States. I have no use for the left and Democrats that are not available and readily going to say that at one time Obama, Hillary, and others high in the Democratic Party absolutely espoused putting up stronger barriers to stop and eliminate all the influx of illegal aliens. And now, because it's politically not correct for them and they need the votes, that's the bottom line, they're disavowing what they said 12 years ago.
Exactly. And I always say this. If it happened to a Democrat 2 seconds ago, oh, that's old news. But if it happened to a Republican, let's go clear back to when they were in the womb.
That's a good observation and very true. Thank you for your call. And may I also extend to you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's frustrating because I saw one of the tapes a couple of days ago with Hillary standing up there talking about border security. And then I saw Obama. And then this morning I saw another one. Don't tell me they're not out there. And don't tell me that these two liberal Democrats didn't say this. They did. And now, because they want the votes, they want to change the way the polls are being voted at. They want the Democratic Party to have much more of an explosion of power. How are they going to get that explosion of power? With new voters that are going to feel an obligation to them. That's how they're going to get it. And we're going to be the worse the wear for what they're trying to do. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. Let's see, what else have I got cooking here? Oh, I want to remind you, while I'm waiting for your phone call, about our great major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations are serving you, and they're trying to get you ready for anything that might get thrown at you on the roadways. The snow and the ice and the muck and the yuck and everything else, man, they've got all the tires, all the different tread designs, all the sizes. They've got it all for you. Excuse me, I'm choking to death here. They've got all the sizes for your car, pickup, and SUV. All you need to do is stop in and see them today. And boy, the prices on these tires, absolutely really workable for you and your budget. You'd better get in there today. Absolutely. Save money and drive safely. And along with that, the best of front-end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and more, where they provide the best in service to you with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Yes, sirree, Bob, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Got time for a couple of calls. Give me a jingle quickly, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got a chuckle about James Comey, former FBI director. You know, I watched him yesterday on TV after his so-called testimony. That man, and I don't care who's offended by this, James Comey is the south end of a donkey headed north. I've never seen anybody like him. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of get a little observation here. I'm thinking about this wall, and I really have mixed feelings about it because I don't think that a wall is going to make any difference at all. The only countries that enforce their borders are people that enforce their borders with tough laws within the countries. I mean, you go to jail. They have with this country, they'll dig a hole, they'll climb it, they'll go around it, they'll swim around it, they'll come in on a boat somewhere else, and then they'll sign up with everything, and everybody will take care of them in a sanctuary city.
we're not going to solve our immigrant problem until we solve it from within by changing our laws and actually enforce them and enforcing them rigorously.
The only thing I would say to you, sir, and I respect your opinion, and you said it very eloquently, but I would say this. I believe walls work. I've seen walls work in Israel on their southern border to keep all the African illegal aliens out of their country from coming in there, and they work. They went from where they were having a 55,000 importation of illegal aliens down to none, with a very high, well-built wall. So I believe walls do work.
In reply to that, the laws within Israel are strictly enforced, and if they even get in Israel, they're immediately out.
You know, I agree. I agree with that. No, I agree with you. What you're saying, everything you say is true. I think that we've got some points where we can kind of have peaks and valleys on agreement. But what you're saying about Israel, they've said, hey, we're going to be tough. We're going to enforce the law. I agree with you. And call me when I've got more time. I'd love to have you back on the program. I wish you a Merry Christmas.
That's it. I just wanted to point that out because I'm not against building it, but I don't think it's going to solve the problem, not with the immigrants and not with the drugs. I think we have to look inside of ourselves, and we have to do it different in this country. We can't say we're going to do this, but if you manage to get through it, it's okay.
All right, sir. God bless you, and please call back again. I've enjoyed the conversation. Thank you much. To the other caller that was there, I say thank you. Call back. I've got to run to the news right now from CBS. I'll be back in 7 minutes. Morning, as we draw closer and closer to Christmas. Tuesday, December 18th. Thank you so much. And right now, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best in tires for wintertime driving. And also some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's have this good word for our friends at Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, I don't care if you want to get on the route service to have your garbage picked up weekly, or if you need a dumpster of a various size left at your place, fill it up, they'll come and get it. Or maybe you want to talk to them about the Go Minis portable storage units. Oh, all of this and so much more. All you need to do is call the number and they can help. They will help at 734-6969. Western Waste Services, it's true, they are always at your disposal. Wonderful, wonderful people. We're going to have a dear friend of mine on the air with us in just a few moments, but right now I also want to extend Merry Christmas wishes from our dear friends at, and let me see, I've got a note coming in here. No, I don't have time right now, Wheels, on that, because I've got to get to this next guest. I'll be there momentarily. Don't forget Nature Nursery at 120 East Highway 81 in Burley. All the home decor items, and oh, by the way, fresh cut trees, and they can flock your trees too. And all you need for a very Merry Christmas from Nature Nursery at 120 East Highway 81 in Burley. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Rogge Auction. These are really good people at Ron, Kate, or Jed, the best doggone auctioneers around. If you're selling a farm or farm equipment, remember, call them. Rogge Auction at 431-0074. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And last but not least, my buddy, Old Doug, over at Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair at 635 21st Street in Heyburn. And he wants you to remember the real, true meaning of the season, and of course that's the birth of Jesus. And don't forget to remember the senior centers. Doug's Alternator and Starter Repair in Heyburn. Merry Christmas. Right now, let's go to the phone line, and we're going to hold this guy over, if we can, a little longer today, because I've got a lot of things to talk to him about, and I want to say good morning to my dear friend in Golden, Colorado, Frosty Woldridge. Sir, how are you?
Well, good morning, Zeb, and good morning to everyone, and a Merry Christmas. I hope that this season of renewal, not only of the birth of Jesus, but also the renewal of your hearts and your minds and your energies and your enthusiasm are renewed, because we have big things coming in the new year, and I hope we're all ready to take them on and really move forward here, not only in America, but around the world. So Merry Christmas to everyone.
Frosty, you're a Christian. You and I have talked about church and belief and religion and faith on numerous occasions. But I'm a little bit upset this morning, and I make no bones about it, that as a Christian, I'm having a finger pointed at me, and you are also, because we as Christians, we don't care about these people that are having such a severe plight on the border, why we should all welcome them in, why we should welcome everybody in. No borders, everybody come on. And I'm sick of that, because as a Christian, we have got to take care of our own first, and we're not doing that.
Well, there's no question. As you all know, and I hate to remind anyone, but I've bicycled around the world on 6 continents. I've seen exactly what kind of misery is tapping on the shoulders of millions and even billions of human beings. For those of you who haven't gone to Africa or simply India or haven't gone over to China or Indochina, the latest figures on the people living in those countries shows that right now 157 million people would like to move to America tomorrow if they had the golden ticket, as it's called, to come to America. They'd love to move to Canada. They'd love to move to Europe. They'd certainly love to move to Australia, because those 4 entities, if you will, created thriving and successful societies. And the harsh reality, whether you're a Christian or a Buddhist or a Hinduist or even a Muslim, you can't do it. You have to do the mathematics of it. And the only way that I can bring this into a clearer picture for everyone is that you may live in Chicago in a beautiful home with a nice fenced yard, and yet there are 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 poor people in Chicago, and they need a place to live and actually have food and a table and a warm house and all that, and they want to move into your house. Well, you've got kids. I don't care if you have 2 kids or 3 kids or 4 kids. You have to take care of your kids first. You have to take care of your house first. You have to take care of your responsibilities. And so the fact is, you can't take in 10 more people or 10 more families or whatever the number. You simply can't do it. But what you can do is help them in their own countries, help them in their own areas. And that's what Christians have done in this country now for several hundred years. We have the greatest Red Cross help around the world, that we are the ones that fund it. We feed the children in Africa. We feed them in places like Central America and certainly in Mexico with our foreign aid. And so the key here is to understand that you may be a religious person, you may care about all of these children. The fact is, we cannot absorb the numbers. We already take in 1.7 million refugees every year. That's 1.2 million legally and 500,000 illegally, and that's more than all other countries combined. So I'd say that this Christian nation is doing more than anybody else in the world, but at some point you have to get down to the mathematics of it. I don't care who you are, what your religion is, how much your heart, how big it is. You have to understand that America must take care of its own first, so that we then can help the rest of the world. That is how I look at this, and how the mathematics of it show it. And Zeb, that's how we cannot be chastised for what we're doing, because what we're doing is more than the rest of the world combined.
Absolutely. I will say this. I want to kind of reach in and pick out some of the words you just said, and I want to highlight some of this and see what your response is. You talked about how we feed the children in other countries and we provide foreign aid, but here's what I would like to change in regards to that, and I mean really change. We are sending billions of dollars overseas to help people. Once that boat supposedly docks outside their country, supposedly that food is going to the children. Supposedly the foreign aid money is going to help internally with the families and the children, but we don't know. And there's been a lot of graft and corruption. I would propose that if we're going to continue sending over this aid and this food, etc., that we have private individuals that are hired per boatload to go over there and make sure it goes to the people that are really in need, instead of these greedy, upward palm politicians that are always taking things for themselves.
Well, certainly the saying has been repeated many times that foreign aid is taking money, money from the poor people of a rich nation and giving it to the rich people of a poor nation. And I can say this with a great deal of certainty, that foreign aid and all of the monies that we send, and certainly the foods that we send, most of the time do not reach all of those poor people, do not reach the mouths of those babies, but in fact the graft and the corruption absorbs it into the people who are in power, and they siphon that money off. We know the corruption of the monies that have been going over to Iraq and Afghanistan for the last 17 years. Billions of dollars have been grafted and ripped off and stolen and utilized along the way. So there's no surefire way to save the peoples of the world. In the end, all of these countries that are failing, their citizens at some point must choose a better form of governance, must choose a better form of feeding themselves, like utilizing farming practices, literally taking their countries and their soils and their water and their energies toward producing foods just like we do here in the United States and or Canada and or Europe. That's the key. It's not. There's no way. Again, I want everyone to understand that the human race, the third world, is about to add 3 billion more people within the next 30 years. 3 billion. That's B as in boy. Does anybody think that we can save all of them? I don't care if you're the deepest Christian. I don't care if you're the Pope. I don't care if you're the most evangelical person in the world. How do you propose to save another 3 billion refugees that the third world is about to produce on this planet? Zeb, it can't be done. So all we can do is do the best we can in our own country and secure our own home. We need to lock the door. As good Christians, we need to lock the door, help them in their own countries, and then, in the first place, save our own country and our own citizens first, so that we're a viable civilization, that we're a viable country, and that's the only way this can go.
Yeah, I've got to do a commercial break here, but it's no different than having lifeboats that are put out from a sinking ship. They can only hold so many people before the lifeboat sinks itself. Caller, I'm going to ask you to wait just a moment. I got to get a commercial break in here, and then we'll have more with Frosty, and I'll take your call. Stand by, please. I'll be right there. Don't forget Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors at 135 East 23rd Drive in Burley and Wheels. We got a little bit of feedback on the line there, please. Holly Rowe, of course, heads up Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors, and we really appreciate all of her effort. The number to call to find out more, 312-5715. If you're a senior that wants to stay at home and you might need a little help, don't forget to call them at 312-5715. They can help with light housekeeping chores and running errands and maybe a little bit of the 24-hour care. They want to help you at home. Minnecasia Hearts for Seniors at 135 East 23rd Drive in Burley. Again, that number, 312-5715. And don't forget, too, our friends at the Urgent Cares. Riverside Urgent Care of Burley at 382 North Overland in Burley. Urgent Care of Twin Falls, 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin. And the Urgent Care of Jerome, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. Your health is their number one priority, and they strive to provide the highest level of quality care while keeping the costs to a minimum. They wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Urgent Cares of Burley, Twin Falls, and Jerome. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Quickly, please.
Yeah, what I've been saying about our foreign aid, we shouldn't be sending any cash whatsoever. We should be sending equipment, like tractors and water purification systems, all made in the United States.
Well, I would differ with you on your opinion, because when you have an illegitimate and, quite frankly, illegal government, they in turn probably would know the shipments of John Deere's coming in and or any other kind of equipment, sell it, pocket the money, and who's going to be the wiser?
Well, at least they're not getting cash. And if they're selling it like that, it won't be hard to find out.
All right, I'll have Frosty respond to that on the air. Go ahead, Frosty, please. Thank you.
The caller, I want to thank you for that very compelling solution, because indeed, if we're going to send anything, money is not going to do it.
That's right.
The caller is correct. The only thing that's going to really solve their problem is if they will receive farming expertise, if they'll receive equipment that could plow the fields and plant the fields and cultivate the fields. And as an old farm boy from Michigan, I can tell you, it's hard work, and you need the equipment in order to cultivate and to plant food and harvest food and then transport food. But at the same time, as I said, 3 billion more third world people on this planet. In the end, we need to get the Red Cross over there to these countries with birth control availability, because in the end, no matter how much food you produce, if the human race continues adding exponentially these huge numbers, I've said this before, Zeb, and I'll say it again. Human overpopulation will be the greatest issue facing humanity in the 21st century, and if we don't get a hold of it, and we have gotten a hold of it. We've been averaging 2 children or less in America since 1970. Same with Canada, same with Europe, same with all Western countries. But it's, again, the third world countries that simply have been screaming ahead and adding 80 million new babies net gain every year. There's no way to solve that.
Well,
and so for those of you who think we can keep migrating or importing all of these desperate people, again, there's no end to the line. It's funny. I was on not Facebook yesterday with my latest column about France is being destroyed by immigration, and so one guy named Mickey Schuett in Denver here said, "Well, Frosty, maybe we should all move back to where we came from, except for the Native Americans." That's not a solution. Because it can't be a solution, because what we have is what we have right now. The numbers are here. We're 330 million Americans and another 22 to 25 million illegal aliens in our country. That's over 350 million people, and we're going to go to 440 million. And what was so amazing by this Mickey Schuett, he made the comment after I clearly said, look at these 2 videos, the 5-minute video from numbersusa.org by Roy Beck, which shows how the world adds 80 million new babies net gain every year, and how we're going to look in his second video. That's Immigration, Gumballs, and Poverty, which everybody I think that's listening today has seen that. It's got over 100 views. And then Immigration Off the Charts, which is a 10-minute video. Anybody that needs that video to spread it to all of your distribution networks, just write me at frostyw@juno.com, FROSTY@JUNO.com. I'll send you the 2 videos. I swear, if you get those 2 videos, those are the simplest, most direct understanding of why we can't continue mass immigration into the United States. And do you want to bequeath to your children, the United States of America, another 300 million people in the next 80 years? And of course, the answer is no, you don't. And if you do, you're a fool. You don't understand the math. You don't understand that we have water shortages and energy crisis and certainly resource crises facing us right now with 330 million people. Why, in the name of common sense, would you want to import another 100 million immigrants and jump us to 440 million and on our way to 625 million people? I've already been to the places where they did that. China, India, Bangladesh. Mexico's a mess. 20 million people are stuffed into all of Mexico City. The air is so polluted, the water doesn't even run. They've got several million, I'd say somewhere between 3 and 5 million people live in utter poverty and cardboard shacks outside of Mexico City. How do I know this? I've been there. I've seen it. They can't solve the problems. So that's why we can't keep doing this to ourselves, Zeb. Do I make sense?
Well, wait a minute. I want to back up a little bit. Yes, you make sense, but I want to respond to that caller that was on the air with us a moment ago. And I'm not going to weaken on this. I don't care. I'm not in favor of sending money, hard, cold cash. I think it's absolutely asinine and foolish and stupid. But also, I'm not in favor of sending over tractors and equipment that can be sold by a very illegal government. If they were so absolute reputable, why aren't they leading their country out of poverty and creating a better system for their people? They're not. They're not to be trusted. And I believe we can't send one doggone dime or even one small little tractor over to any country without overseeing that it goes to the right place. I'm sick and tired of carte blanche sending money and whatever in foreign aid, and we don't know who gets it.
Well, again, when I was a safety supervisor here in Denver, Colorado, with United Van Lines, Johnson Storage and Moving, I always remember you have to inspect what you expect. You can't just assume that somebody's going to take care. And so, you're correct. If we were going to try to feed these countries, or they're going to help them feed themselves, we would absolutely have to have an iron-fisted lock of inspectors and people that are the farming experts, and we have to have accountability for all of that, and that is the only way that it could work, if that's even possible. But again, I hope you understand that third world is adding 80 million new people.
That's right.
Every year, net gain. How do you feed that many people? No matter how much you try, again, this thing's getting so out of hand that there's no question foreign aid is a complete waste of time, and it's very possible that even sending tractors and cultivators and harvesters and barns and the ability to create all that food and grow all that food may be just a complete, a total non-winner, a waste of time. Because, again, I have to... The reality of Africa is that they have a very collective IQ of 68. People don't want to talk about that, but a 68 IQ is not too bright, but that's the average IQ there in Africa. I don't know what it is in India. I know it's 105 in China. Most of the Middle East is 84. So, again, intellectual horsepower dictates what a entire civilization can do. And you can see why the failures of Africa are so great is because the intellectual horsepower is so low.
I've got to do a commercial break, Frosty, and when I come back, I want to talk to you about two very important topics, and we've only got about 8 or 9 minutes left, so stand by. Want to remind everybody about Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Oh, my goodness, this is Santa's favorite place to shop. Absolutely. And don't forget, no money down, no interest, up to 48 months on approved credit. Oh, my goodness, great big savings, the best values on everything for your home. How about a new dining room set? How about a new sofa? How about a new recliner? They've got one of the largest selections you've ever seen of recliners anywhere. How about new carpet for your home? All of this and more, like I said, where Santa loves to shop, at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Jeff and the crew wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas at 459 Overland in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Want to also remind you about our friends at Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Don't forget Joel Heward, manager, family, staff, all serving you. Hanson Mortuary would like to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a happy and very prosperous 2019. And they also are there to help you at the drop of a hat. When they need to be there to help you, they will help you. When there's the passing of a loved one, they are there with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. I urge you to call the number 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. And Joel Heward also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Frosty, I've only got a couple of minutes left, and I do not want to go on this because I want to rapid fire some things to you. But I'm starting to have really qualms and second thoughts about our Republicans, our Democrats, and whether or not there ever will be a wall. Trump ran underneath border security and building a wall, and now with the Chuck Schumers and the lying of the rest of the Democratic liberal policies, I don't know if we're going to get one or not. What are your thoughts?
I don't think we're going to see a wall. I don't think we're ever going to see any internal enforcement by ICE to any degree as far as going after employers of illegal aliens because Marriott hotels and McDonald's and Chipotle's and Hormel and Tyson Chicken and all the kind of money brokers have so much power to sway any kind of vote in the U.S. Congress that it hasn't happened in the last 30 years. We haven't enforced internally our laws that are already on the books. Section 8, 1324 is a law that says you cannot hire, transport, or house an illegal alien. That's not been enforced in over 20 years. There's no question that Nancy Pelosi is an open borders a fool, if you will. Schumer is the same. That's their voting bloc. When they get enough Hispanics, Mexican, Latinos in this country illegally, literally hundreds of thousands of illegals are already documented as being voters, and they're undocumented, if you will, and yet they are being allowed to vote. The motor voter rolls in California. So, we're not going to see a wall. And until the American people go to the forefront and start screaming at the top of their lungs like they did in France this last 4 weeks, the French people are so sick of Macron because he's such a wuss and he's just duplicitous as all get out. The French people have finally rioted in great numbers. So until we, the American people, do the same thing, it will be business as usual. The illegals will be coming across at 1,500 every night. Over 500,000, it's actually 547,000 illegals came over this year, as documented by Steve Camarada at CIS.org. So, you're right. I don't see any change. The American people keep sitting here and absorbing these consequences. And again, all of you who appreciate this, by 2042, which is only, 24 years from now or whatever it is, give or take, Latino, Mexican, Hispanics will be the new majority here in the United States, completely displacing the white majority that owned this country from 1965, when whites were 90% of the population, now down to 54, and about to become 49% in our own country. This is going to be what the result of this mass immigration is, and that's what we're facing because the American people either refuse to or won't or don't or are too apathetic and too lazy to sit there and demand that the borders are secured.
Absolutely.
That's my take on the whole thing.
Absolutely.
I think I've covered it, Zeb.
No, you have. There is something I wanted to mention to you this morning, my dear friend, that at 10:30, and I'm asking you to tune back in and listen. Go to zebbell.com at 10:30 this morning. A lovely lady by the name of Maria Espinoza that heads up the Remembrance Project, and the project was started to remember the angel families that have lost a son, daughter, husband, wife to illegal aliens killing their family members. I have on at 10:30 this morning a gentleman by the name of Dan Golvac, where his son was wantonly murdered at an intersection stop sign by an illegal alien that then left the scene and went on to wantonly murder 2 others. An illegal alien that had been deported so many times, had created and caused so many crimes in this country, but he came back to kill and maim others. And I'm going to have that family on the air this morning at 10:30, and I absolutely wanted you to tune in.
I will do that. Also, I love Maria Espinosa. She's one of the great American patriots, and I follow her a great deal. And I'm also, I want to really sober everybody. The latest reports that are manifested, 12 deaths a day of Americans by illegal aliens. It's 12 a day, and I forget what the total cost of that was. 365 days of the year times 12 Americans that are killed by illegal aliens. That's car wrecks, rapes and killings. That's murders right on down the line. We are literally being killed by these illegal aliens at a horrific rate. I could, if I go back over, I think it was about 2 weeks ago when I wrote that column and did all the research on it. So you better believe we are being decimated by illegal aliens in this country. And what's sickening about it is it's being facilitated by Charles Schumer up there in the Congress. It's being facilitated by Mitch McConnell in the Senate. By Paul Ryan, certainly Nancy Pelosi, by Hudson, by John Lewis, by Hank Johnson. All of these leaders in the Senate and the House of the United States Congress are facilitating these killings, facilitating the rapes, facilitating our schools being just shredded by all of these immigrants, both legal and illegal. And again, we just keep voting them in. I mean, Dianne Feinstein, who's the greatest advocate for illegal aliens in California, a U.S. senator at 87 or 88. She just got reelected for another 6 more years. She'll be serving until she's 92, and she doesn't have a clue as to the consequences because she's never touched by them. And so I'll be clicking in at 10:30 to hear the show. But that's what we're facing. And again, the American people just sit docilely in their seats and don't do anything.
Yeah.
I've already got another appointment with my 2 U.S. senators here in January to say, hey, we can't keep importing all these people. How many people that are listening, how many of you have gone down to your 2 senators and your House rep and said, we can't sustain, we can't survive more immigration into our country, certainly into Idaho? I would love to know that number. How many of you actually have written or have sent in your faxes at numbersusa.org and saying, hey, we don't want any more of this immigration? The key is action speaks louder than grumbling, complaining, and whatever. And, of course, I go back to the same saying I have many times. Never feel that you can do so little that you do nothing at all. Mm-hmm. And that's the key. How many of every one of us listening today are actually taking action? And that's the key to this whole thing. And obviously, the United States right now, the majority of Americans are not taking action.
Well, and I will say this, and I know you're going to agree with this, because it's not basically any great concept of mine. It's just absolutely the facts. That if Donald Trump, our president, stubs his toe and backs up from that line in the sand, that he has stated he will stand behind and not move and weaken in regards to building a border wall and have the funding for a border wall, or he'll shut down the government. If he weakens on this, the next 2 years are nothing more than Donald Trump being a lapdog for the Democrats and 2020 a total disaster. That's the way I feel. Maybe you think I'm wrong.
Well, you are right. I want everyone to appreciate this. The tragedy of all of this is we already have laws on the books to absolutely fine employers of illegal aliens $2,000 per illegal and up to 5 years in prison. If you simply enforce that particular law, it's Federal Code Section 81324. That's the law, and it's been on the books for over 20 years. You wouldn't even you would need the wall for the drugs, for the $120 billion in drugs coming across the border. That would certainly stop them or slow them down, unbelievably, fantastically. But the fact is, again, it's like the callers came in and said, let's go over to Africa and give them tractors and show them how to feed themselves. But here, we know we've got rules right here that we and laws right now on the books, but we're not enforcing them. ICE is not allowed to enforce against Chipotle's or Marriott hotels or Hormel or Tyson Chicken. And so they're just getting away with all this slave labor and this illegal labor. It's costing us billions in cash transfers. It's taking jobs away from American citizens, you name it. And yet, with all that on the books and the laws on the books, we're simply not enforcing them. And neither is President Trump right now. And so that's the problem with the system.
Yeah.
We don't have the laws being enforced, and so I don't see anything changing. To tell you the truth, even with a giant wall, impenetrable or whatever, we're just doing it to ourselves. In other words, cheap labor is making a lot of people rich, but it's costing our country literally its survival.
Frosty, I don't know if this is the time I want to end the program because I've got so much more to say, but the clock dictates to me. I want to say to you and Sandy a very Merry Christmas. We are going to be off for the next 2 weeks and then come back with you on January 2nd. And I know that you are going to cut your tofu ham with the great knife that I sent you years ago at Christmas time. So around the tree, around your family, God's blessings for a Merry, Merry Christmas.
And to you and Deanne and everyone listening, I know we talk about serious stuff here, and we need to. At the same time, may we all count our many blessings and a Merry, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And we'll continue to create a national discussion right here at Zeb at the Ranch. And God bless you all, and a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Frosty. The best to you, my dear friend. Thank you. Frosty Woldridge, Golden, Colorado. Right now, I want to urge everybody to remember our dear friends over at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, Nick and Randy, the whole operation. I mean, they've got all the snowmobiles. Oh, you just step into that showroom. I've said this many times. I do not know how they got everything in that showroom. Woo! It's crowded. It's got everything, all the fun, and all the snowmobiles. And don't forget, too, they've also got all the snow plows for your four-wheelers. You know, as you brum, 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 get your driveway all cleaned out. I've got mine on. And besides that, they've got all the great accessories. Great place to shop for Christmas shopping right over there at Let's Ride. And to keep you running, the best doggone service department around. They're good. You stop over and see them today. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Let's Ride. And this is where the fun is sold. Wow, we got a lot of things cooking. We're going to have the Stotag Minute in just a few moments with our dear friend Vic over at Stoats Equipment Company, and then our weather forecast and everything. But I want to remind you, too, when you think about life insurance, you think about Cameron and Siemens. Health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this at Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Wonderful, wonderful people they are. Dedicated and very responsive to your needs. I urge you to call them today and make an appointment. The number, 436-4424. I'll say it again, 436-4424. The best serving you, Cameron and Siemens Insurance. You be sure and get a hold of them today. While I got just a moment here, I want to urge you, this note was sent by Marion Wickham over at the Rupert United Methodist Church, and I'm sure there's others. If you want to send me some more, I'll try to get them on tomorrow and or Thursday. There's going to be a Christmas Eve and communion service at Rupert United Methodist Church at 605 H Street next Monday, Christmas Eve, December 24th at 6:30 p.m. The community is invited to attend. Once again, Christmas Eve and communion services at the Rupert United Methodist Church, Christmas Eve at 6:30 p.m. Don't you miss that. Later on this morning, as I said at 10:30, don't miss, we're going to have Mr. Dan Golvac on the air talking about his son that was murdered, cold-blooded murdered by an illegal alien. We're going to have that at 10:30 this morning. Coming up at 10:06, of course, our dear friend, Dr. History. Right now, we're going to take a look at the weather, and the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And they have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. They are the best at what they do, and they really care about you, your family, your business. Best in tax return preparation, tax planning, payroll services, retirement planning, all of this and more. And literally all you have to do is just get a hold of them, make an appointment, and they can and will help you. With offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
We are officially 1 week away until Christmas, and here's a look at your weather forecast and what Mother Nature has in store for us today. Looks like a slight chance of rain or snow showers, about a 20% chance, mostly cloudy skies. Winds out of the south at about 8 miles an hour. Expecting a high of 41 tonight. 30% chance of rain or snow showers, mostly before midnight, low right around 34. And winds could gust as high as 28 miles an hour. Tomorrow we're going to see some sunshine and a high of 42. Still going to be a little bit breezy out there by Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low of 27. Thursday, mostly sunny and 42. That's a look at your weather forecast for Zeb at the Rain.
Oh, Gina, thank you so much. Home run. You did a great job. And again, the weather brought to you by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. As I say, every morning they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. Let them help. They will, and they can, help you, your family, and your business. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Wow. Tomorrow on the program, real quick, I want to highlight, we have got some real home run hitters, including a man that's been one of the focal points of the Mueller investigation, be that as it may. Mr. Jerome Corsi has consented to coming on our program tomorrow morning, and that's going to be at 9:30, and we've got a lot of people other than that. We got Dave Bigo back in Indiana, Dr. Gerard Lamero back in New York. We've got a lot of people coming on the air tomorrow on the program Zeb at the Ranch. Don't you miss it. But right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and I get a chance to give a great big ho, 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 and Merry Christmas to my dear friend Vic over at Stoats Equipment Company at 119 Overland and Burley. It's true, they're your John Deere dealer, and they make your life easier. Good morning, Vic.
Good morning, Zeb, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
You know, I love this time of the year, and I love the celebration of Christmas for what it stands for and all the added amenities. Growing up in Arizona, was it kind of hard to get in the spirit of Christmas when you're seeing temperatures and cactus and everything else quite a bit higher?
You know, if it was just for the, if you're just looking for the ambiance, yeah, absolutely. We didn't get a whole lot of snow. I can remember as a kid praying and wishing for a white Christmas, and by God, one Christmas morning I got it. We had a rainstorm come through, and it got really cold and it froze, and I woke up and every tree was frosted with white, and that's as close as I ever got to a white Christmas. But it was I still remember it, and it was still a blessing.
You know, it is a blessing, and at this time of the year, tell us a little bit about what's happening at Stoats Equipment right now, this time of the year. I mean, you've got I went by the other day, and I was just amazed as to the wide array of equipment that you have for the public right there at Stoats Equipment.
Well, we try to make it a one-stop shop as much as we can, as long as it's quality and as long as we know that it will benefit our customers. Yeah, we try to carry a little bit of everything, so be diversified. We've brought a lot in that they did not carry just due to our size, because with 25 stores in 8 states, there's a lot of different products that we have to carry. I think a lot of people don't realize that we're not just big John Deere ag stuff. We're compacts, we're golf and turf, we're construction. We're forestry. We're a little bit of everything, so we have to be very diversified. But we have a lot of good products, and even our vendors that are not John Deere, we got to make sure that it's a great product, and they're going to support our customers and their needs, and they're going to whatever they support or whatever they sell, they're going to support that, because any product is only as good as your dealership, so we have to make sure we sustain that top level of performance.
You know, Vic, I know that you're heavily involved in the community. I've been very, very impressed with Stoats Equipment and what they do for others, not only the young people, but a lot of other projects. What's going on at Christmas? Is it past the time to get all the toys there? Tell us a little bit about that.
No, sir. So it's a great time to give, and then, like I said, it's extend the hand of giving, and that's the best thing you can do. And so we have people dropping off toys and food, and I did visit with the Christmas Council, and Dave Fairchild over there, he said, yeah, we're still taking it. He said the community has really responded, and they're in pretty good shape. They've actually got a lot of gifts, and I've still got gifts coming in from people from my toy drive that weren't able to make it. It was great to see all the support and the love and the big hearts that we have in our community. But yeah, anybody can drop off food or toys or anything you want. I'm sure somebody will use it and appreciate it and be blessed by it.
Let me ask you this question.
I wanted to tell you, there was something I saw this morning and that I thought was really cool. John Deere's got a lot of great slogans. One of them is "Nothing runs like a deer." But I saw somebody posted on there. It says, "Even Santa knows nothing runs like a deer." And of course, you see all the deer pulling his sleigh. So, Santa's he's a smart guy. So, if you guys need a John Deere, there's not a better expert out there than Santa, and probably Zeb as well, because I know you love your new John Deere.
I can honestly say that was the best thing that ever happened to me, is to buy one of those compact tractors. And yours truly, once he learned how to drive it around without turning it into a demolition derby with the front loader on, everything is well in tractor land over here at Zeb's place.
Well, and I think a lot of people they have the impression, or they have the false impression, that John Deere is more expensive than now the other products. John Deere's really stepped up their game. They're very competitive. And, of course, you have the dealer support. So we try to make it affordable on a budget. And I feel a lot of people don't realize that John Deere offers 0% down and 0% interest for 60 months on most of their compacts. There's great warranty on them now. They've stepped up their game there as well. So, give us a chance, give us an opportunity, and like I said, we're not here to sell you. I'm not a salesman by any means, but I am a helper, and we'll help you get something to fit your needs and the application that you have.
Vic, we're going to be naturally, next Tuesday is Christmas, the following Tuesday, New Year's, so we're going to be off the air for a couple of weeks with you, and then we'll be going into 2019. Do you have any idea on your desk calendar, etc., what items you want to highlight going into 2019 so everybody's aware of what's going on?
Well, our biggest thing is right now we're trying to get ready for spring, and there's a big push to get all the equipment in. So we're doing winter inspections on all of our equipment, but that includes mowers too. So it's a great time to bring in your mower and compact, and let us go through it. And there's some definite some incentives for you to bring them in. We have discounts and we have terms, and a lot of people aren't sure or used to, they've heard the agriculture using farm plan, but multi-use has really changed. It's a new name for it, and that's for anybody. So you can actually go on and buy now and pay later. So there's plenty of options, but the big push is to help everybody get them ready for spring so that whenever that first blade of grass comes up or that first sprout out in the field comes up, all you do have to do is turn the key and you're ready to go.
I did that. I'm going to pat myself on the back. For the first time in a long time, of always waiting until the last minute, the 11th hour, I contacted your folks, and I've got my mower in there. Everything came back shipshape, and all I have to do in the spring is just turn the key.
Well, that's a good thing. So we wanted to be ready when you're ready, so... Now, we've got a great crew here that has lots of experience, and the biggest thing is, like you said, they're willing to help, and they've got a great attitude about it, and that's what I love. It makes the job fun whenever you're helping somebody, not selling something to them.
Last point I want you to make, does your family do anything unique, a little bit different at Christmas time that you'd like to share with us? Final thoughts.
Well, I think our focus, and I'm a big Christmas guy just because I focus on the reason for the season, and I think if people really focus on dedicating themselves or giving a little bit of their time, you'll be blessed more than getting or receiving a gift, because we all receive the ultimate gift, and that's what the reason for the season is. But give a little bit of your time, you'll be blessed, and I guess maybe I don't know if that's different, but it's something I believe in, and it's something that. As you get older, you realize that the true meaning of the season is to bless those that have not or have less, and you'll be blessed in the long run.
Absolutely. It's been a joy to have this man on the air, and we'll look forward to next year, 2019. Stoats Equipment Company with our dear friend Vic at your John Deere dealer at 119 Overland in Burley. They do make your life easier. Vic, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you very much. Wonderful people over at Stoats Equipment Company, and I can attest to that. I mean, man, I've worked with a lot of them over there, and they are great. Service reigns supreme at Stoats Equipment Company in Burley. Coming up next hour, of course, we have the one, the only, the world-famous Dr. History, and I think he's going to be talking about Christmases of the Old West this next half hour, so we want to be sure and tune in for that. Then, again, I want to mention, I called my dear friend, Maria Espinoza, with the Remembrance Project a week ago, and I said, can you come on the air today? And she said yes. Well, then with a confliction of our schedules, she had to call me and she say, I can't come on because I've got to be at a very important meeting. But, however, I can have you talk to Mr. Dan Golvac. And when I read the story about this and the way his son was murdered, cold-blooded murder by an illegal alien, and Dan's thoughts, his family's thoughts afterwards, I just wanted to put that on the air. So that's going to be at 10:32 this morning, so don't miss that. Once again, I want to mention this. They asked me to hit it a couple of times this morning. There will be a Christmas Eve and communion service at Rupert United Methodist Church, 605 H Street. Christmas Eve, Monday the 24th at 6:30 p.m., and the community is invited to attend. Wheels, I've got to ask you, what have you got all ready to go for Christmas music? I love Christmas music. What have you got to take us up to news time this hour?
Right now, I just have Hard Candy Christmas by Dolly Parton.
Oh, okay, I like that song.
All right.
All right, take it away, buddy. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Thanks.
All right, you're welcome.